Recently, I've seen a demand for a guide on Rampage agents, and today I'm deciding to fill the needs of the people. As somebody who's been playing Rampage agents for quite a while, I've picked on some incredibly useful knowledge and useful tips. If you find this video helpful, feel free to subscribe. It's 100% free and motivates me to keep making videos. If you don't, I won't hold it against you. Enjoy. Now, before I get started with today's Yap session, let's talk about today's Bible's verse, Galatians 6:9. And let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap, if we do not give up. Whenever you think about giving up, just think about this verse and let it encourage you to keep going, because soon enough, your efforts will be rewarded. First thing I'm going to do is talk about the heroes and give a breakdown of their abilities. First, let's talk about Grim. His passive marks and reveals enemies when damaged, and his tactical are tracking knives, which point to the closest enemy team and then launch outward and can deal damage to any nearby enemies caught in the crossfire. With Grim, he helps suit a more aggressive playstyle. With his knives, it helps you track other teams and really let you hunt them down. His passive allows that crucial few seconds of marking, as people tend to take cover when they're taking fire, or in just close quarter POIs, it's really easy to lose them. And that extra few seconds of revealing the enemy's position can be incredibly crucial, especially if you have one-on-one. Now we're going to move on to my main, Barry. His passive, when stationary, his entire body will go cloaked. While not 100% invisible, it can be useful for concealing yourself in close quarter positions. His tactical creates a decoy that can mimic various actions like healing, looting a loot box, or aiming with a gun. With a storage chip, you can drop as many as 2 decoys. A lot of people also didn't know this, but when you activate it, before placing the decoy, if you look on your left hand and click down on the joystick, that's how you toggle through the settings. I didn't learn this until like a month and a half ago. Barry is one of the more unique heroes. His kit suits both an offensive and defensive playstyle. His cloak can be super helpful in infiltrating teams in hard to approach positions, or can just be used for hiding from teams. Something I would suggest adding as his passive is when reviving your teammate, both you and your teammate turn invisible. His tactical is incredibly versatile, as you can use it to confuse the enemy when pushing them, or can be used to distract a team that's chasing you by potentially leading them the complete opposite way. And the fact that you can swap between actions for the decoy adds a ton of value to it. Now, moving on to my least played hero, Claire. Her passive enhances gun damage with elemental upgrades, but also makes her immune to other Claire traps placed by an enemy. Her tactical deploys 2 elemental traps, 3 with a storage chip, to control areas and prevent enemy advances. Claire, in my opinion, is one of the more defensive heroes. She excels at being able to hold buildings with her elemental traps. I've rarely seen her play aggressive, but for the times that I've seen her play aggressive, it works out really, really well. Time to talk about my boy Rock. His passive provides a shield when reviving teammates, protecting against enemy fire, and his tactical deploys a large shield with a speed boost for defensive and offensive measures controlled by your hand. Rock is great for both defensive and offensive playstyles. You can play shield to rush into heavily contested areas and buildings, giving you that protection from incoming fire, but can also be used defensively for falling back, blocking a doorway or hallway from gunfire, or just use it to give yourself a second to heal or reload. His passive is great for reviving teammates in intense fights, preventing them from getting thirsted, or just great for reviving out in the open where there's no cover. Transitioning over to the support hero, Rilla. Her passive uses a healing drone to revive teammates while she continues to fight. Her tactical deploys a drone to restore HP to nearby enemies. Sorry, not enemies, allies. With Rilla, she's basically a lifeline from Apex Legends. Her kit is almost a direct one-to-one copy. Her revive drone allows you to revive your teammate while you can continue fighting, looting, or healing yourself. It's really useful for those tight situations where you can't really stop shooting to revive your teammate. Her tactical is a deployable healing drone, which is pretty solid in my opinion, but I definitely feel it could be slightly more powerful. Overall, it's a solid ability, but I feel like if they made it the drone heal a little bit of shield as well, that would add a lot more viability to the hero. Here are a few overall map tips that can probably help you. When trying to keep other teams out of your building, fun fact, you can delay their entry by locking the door. Every single building with doors that open and close will have a big, nice, juicy button next to it. You can push it with your hand, and if it changes to the color red, that means the door is locked and cannot be opened and can only be blown up. But it'll always give you that extra few seconds to regroup and take them head on. When dropping where you want, you can highlight the area you want to drop and then hold down on the trigger to drop, instead of waiting for the usual 20-second timer to force you down to the ground. Once you have your area selected, you'll be unable to land at other areas as you'll be restricted to that one POI. Going along with the dropping in mechanic, the blue circle that randomly appears over the map is where the high tier loot will spawn. One gold gun is guaranteed to spawn, but there'll be plenty of other high loot items there. Here are a few general game mechanic tips that greatly have improved how I play the game. If you love using your tactical for literally any hero, the Miser is definitely your gun of choice. After landing 7 shots in an enemy with the Miser, it will recharge your tactical to 50%. Meaning if you can land 14 shots, you can fully recharge your tactical. If you want to step up your movement with the grapple, this is definitely for you. When grappling onto a large object, preferably one that's taller than you can hold the grip and the trigger, and this will allow you to swing as Spider-Man. With the storage tech, you can use one grapple to launch yourself in the air, and the second one to swing onto an object, and it gets you a lot of movement and momentum. This is really fun and makes large distances really easy to travel. If you're having trouble deciding how to manage your inventory, here's the layout that I use. If I only have a gray backpack, I'll have 2 stacks of small shields, 2 stacks of syringes, 1 stack of large shield pots, and 1 stack of medkits. Any leftover space that I may have will usually be filled up with a couple recovery kits and a few smoke grenades and regular grenades. When deciding to use shield cells or shield pots, or using syringes or medkits, here's the criteria that I go with. If I have more than half my shield left, I'll use shield cells, as using a shield pot would kind of be a waste. But if I have less than half shield left, I'll use a shield pot. Now I use this exact same criteria for syringes and medkits, and it works really well and makes sure you're not wasting your resources. Now I've seen some people asking what's some of the best chips to try and find and pick up, and the 2 chips that I'm always looking out for are the Guerrilla Warfare chip, which automatically reloads your gun while you're moving, and the other chip I look for is the storage device chips, which allows you to use your grapple twice, but also increases the amount of times you can use your tactical. When deciding what hero to play, think about your playstyle. If you enjoy a more aggressive player, I would definitely recommend playing Grim or Rock. Maybe even Barry if you can rock it like I do. But if you want a more defensive playstyle, definitely go for someone like Claire and Rilla, and maybe even Barry. So, quick interruption, future Cataglitch here. While I was editing this video together, Rampage Agents had a massive new update. Now, I thought about making a part 2 with the new hero and talking about the map and stuff, but because I'm lazy, I'm just going to strap it at the end of this video. This massive update comes with a few new things, including a new hero named Fiery. Her passive is a launcher that fires grenades and smoke grenades at a larger distance than you would throw her. Her tactical is a fission grenade that is fired at enemies and damages the enemy upon impact, but if you shoot them and they take too many damage, the grenade will explode, causing more damage to that enemy, but it will also cause blast damage to their nearby teammates. She's actually a butt ton of fun to play, and actually adds a little bit of value to the grenades, since you can actually launch them farther. And I don't know what it is about her, but she's just so much fun to play, and there's just hidden force that just makes me want to keep playing her. The update also brought a new map, Arid Nexus. To newer players, this is a new map, and they love it, and I wouldn't hate it either. But, fun fact, this is actually the map before that was used in the Apple Lab days. Yes, I have old footage, and I should be playing it now, because there's my receipt. Boom, baby. It was a nice blast from the past. The maps rotate at random, usually every 24 hours or so you'll usually get a chance to play both maps. There are also a couple new changes to the game, including the addition of sliding. To slide, you go into your sprint and then push down on your right joysticks. And this is a lot of fun. A lot of fun. It's really fun to go down large hills, and overall is a great addition, and was definitely needed. Another slight change was the drop modules. Instead of going straight down and slamming into the ground, When you approach the ground, your module will slow down and slowly hit the ground. The modules are also way more open as well, with larger windows so you're able to look around and see much easier. This update also brought a new gun, the Flying Needle, and it's an SMG themed around bees. When you hit an enemy, they'll take additional venom damage even when you're not shooting them. When you dual wield these guns, it is incredibly overpowered. The combination of its high damage and the venom damage effect makes it super powerful, and it definitely needs a nerf right now. The final part of the update are the daily login rewards. When you log in for 7 days, it doesn't have to be consecutively. You'll get rewards ranging from R packs all the way up to the legendary Plague Dr. Berry skin, which I will say was an exclusive skin last year that only me and 2 other people had it, and we were promised it wouldn't come back, but it did. I really wish they would at least change the style a bit, just so you can differentiate what the original one and the new version was, kind of sometimes what Fortnite does. But maybe at this point I'm just reaching. If/when they decide to give me my own custom berry skin, then we'll be even Stevens. Rampage Agents is getting such fire updates, and it's making the game a blast to play. If they keep this up, they'll be in the top battle royale game in no time. You definitely need to check out the game if you haven't already, and there's some great things coming up in the future for the game. It's been Kat. I hope this video helped you in some way, shape, or form. Have a fantastic day. God loves you.